Hey everyone, it's Joric. Welcome back. I hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. Today I wanted to talk about the impressions as I've let people know, hey, we're going to be moving back to the States. Gotten a lot of great feedback and messages on the comments. Also some really good messages through email to me about, thoughts about, Portugal, but also Europe, other countries. A lot of people have given me their take on what's going on in the U.S. And a common theme or a common question that I'm getting in comments on the YouTube videos, as well as emails that I've been getting is, so now that you're moving back and that's going to happen, what are your first impressions about moving back, or what are some of the things that you're thinking about when moving back? And I apologize here, I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit. So the first thing that goes through my head is the upcoming election and the complete bleep show that is politics these days in the United States. So that's something I'm absolutely not looking forward to. As many of you know that watched my channel over the years, I don't get into politics. I don't know enough about Portuguese politics to be able to speak intelligently and give good information about what has gone on in Portugal. In the U.S., although we're away from it, you can't get away from it. I guess anywhere you live, people want to talk about the U.S. and politics, and it's something about living abroad. Everyone that we've met that has, whether they've been to the U.S. or they've never stepped foot in the U.S., has a very, very, very strong opinion about the United States. And generally, it revolves around politics, a political leader, what they feel about current president, past presidents, you name it. There's some strong opinions. So going back, my biggest reluctance, or maybe there's trepidation, I know that before, let's say 2016, I didn't know most of my friends and where they stood politically. After 2016, I think I knew where everyone stood, for better or for worse, and there were alliances being formed and friendships terminated and families that all of a sudden Thanksgiving dinner in the U.S. became more ridiculous than it sometimes already is. So that's my biggest, concern going back, is the politics. Although I'm not involved day to day, I'm not a water cooler. Hey, what happened in this last Senate hearing, or what did the president say last night or this morning? I don't get into that. I do not follow politics religiously. I think that's part of the problem, is it's become so much of a religion that people have to pick a side and stick to it regardless. That's going to be the hardest thing to get back to, is more people want to talk about their side of things and want to convince me of their side, and I should be on team blue or team red. And a little bit of an oddball. Like I said, I don't discuss politics really, but I'm an independent when it comes to the political nature. Now, that doesn't mean I always vote independent. Mostly I'm voting one way or the other. I'm not beholden to a particular party. I think both parties are full of crap in different respects, in different policies. But that's something that I'm going to be not looking forward to, because friends are going to want to make sure that I'm fully committed to a blue side or a red side. And I've been open with them that I'm not on either side. I see both sides. I think I see both sides. I try to. And I'm more in the middle than they want me to be. So I think I'm called wishy-washy back home, or a fence sitter, but I just don't believe that we have to be on team A or team B to be able to move forward. And I think that's part of the tribalism of people being on team A or team B. All or nothing leads to people not willing to talk to one another and have a beer or have a conversation and talk through ideology and why people agree to things. And I'm a believer that you can and should come out of things. You're either going to be in agreement or agree to disagree. what I don't hear and see, and many of my friends, I don't hear this either. I see your point. I understand where you're coming from, but I have a different point, or I have a different take on that. And I may disagree with you. Here is my reasons why, and you may disagree with that, but that's okay. We're still going to turn around and watch, kids play soccer on a Saturday morning, or go to a movie or a concert together, hang out, do a vacation together, although we may have different sides of things. It's interesting to me how things have just evolved, especially since we moved over here, how touchy that subject just continues to be. Growing up and with friends from all over, I'll give a sports analogy where you might have your favorite team, and your favorite team you may dislike, or you may have grown up hating. I know that's a strong word, but hating another team, a rival team. Well, I have friends that the teams I grew up loving, they grew up hating, and vice versa. The teams that they love, I grew up as rivals I didn't like at all. But it's it's sort of we kid each other when they play, but it's not, we're going to get in a fight over it, or we can't talk ever again, or whatnot. And I just, that's the biggest thing. Nothing else. I'm actually looking forward to going back home. I know a lot of people think that I'm nuts for saying that, but I am actually, you'll find I didn't, unlike other YouTube creators, I didn't bury the US when I moved abroad. Everyone gets a lot of views and clicks by burying their former or home country. I didn't do that because I knew at some point a work contract was going to be up, like it is. We'd be moving back, and I also feel much better about our country than maybe others do, or more positive about where it's going, especially how we are today. So what I don't like, as well as I hear from pundits as well as friends and family, that there won't be another election coming up. There's going to be a civil war. Things are just building to such divisiveness. And I was born in 71, so I was not born in the 60s, but I would like someone to explain to me how they feel that things are worse now in the U.S., more divided and more split than they were in the 60s, with civil rights, women's rights, sexual revolution, counterculture revolution, Vietnam, a president being assassinated, his brother who was running for president being assassinated, the two biggest civil rights icons or leaders, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, assassinated. You're telling me that things are worse now in the U.S. than then. Again, when my parents were around and my grandparents, I'd ask questions about this when I was younger, and I don't see that. I mean, it sounds good, it gets clicks and views, but I don't believe that we're in worse shape than what we were in the 60s. And as much as the country did in some cases tear itself apart, politically speaking, we seem to move on from that. So I think we're going to figure it out. Probably not in 2024. I will say that. It may take 2028. But I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic. And I don't like people that are negative and pessimistic about where things are going. Let's move forward. Let's figure this out. So what'll happen? I might lose some friends going back because I'm not picking one side only on. I may pick a side on some issues, but I'm not a down the ticket type of person. So there may be some friendships that change over that, and that's okay. That's okay. That's life. But we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be an interesting election. The politics are going to be they're jacked up. They're on steroids right now, so I can only imagine when we get home, the beginning of September, a couple of months leading up to the election, how ridiculous things are going to be. But I hope we come out the other end not getting into conflict and civil war, and we find a way at somewhere where we're less divisive when it comes to politics. I know that's a Pollyanna, pie in the sky view of things, but I'd like to think that tomorrow can be as good, if not better, than today. And that's what I'm going with. So that's my biggest trepidation, my fear, is the politics and what's going on. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your travels.